I gotta tune up. My family comes from the Churchill River area of northern Saskatchewan. I lived in Sandy Bay when I was a kid, but the Ballantyne family, of which I come from, have roots in Pelican Arrows and north of Sandy Bay on trap lines and Deschambault Lake and places like that. My great-great-grandfather was Peter Ballantyne, who was an orphan abandoned on a creek side and found by this family of hunters traveling in late 1800s. And they adopted him, and what happened was when they signed treaty, or the adhesion to Treaty 6, my family, whoever it was, walked up to the Indian agent and told them his traditional name, and they couldn't spell it, so they said, "You're Ballantyne." And so that was the start of the Ballantyne. Well, the first time I really toured was we did a small tour of northern Saskatchewan when I was 14. And we'd had a band in school, and the way the band worked in the school I went to is that everybody that wanted to play music got to be in the band. So there was 20 kids in this band, or 26. But that was the first year. And then the second year, there was nobody. There was only 4 people that wanted to be in the band the second year. So that was the band that went on this tour. And we played in Brabant Lake and Hall Lake and I think South End and Deschambault, I think was these 4 tour dates we did. And then after I graduated high school and did a bit of university, I went on the road with a band, and I was out for a year. I went out probably in January '87, and I was gone till November. Just no fixed address, every week playing a different bar in Western Canada, Alberta, BC, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and the territories. That was my job. I wasn't even old enough to be in the bar. It was some places you play in Saskatchewan as 19, I wasn't old enough. And so we decided to get serious about it. We found these 2 guys, one guy from Walash and then another guy from here that were really young, really good players, and together we formed a band that became Breach of Trust. I know that I will never be alone. I had this idea that I wanted to write a song about how Indigenous people are related to the land that they come from, that there's a relationship. We come from northern Saskatchewan. Nobody's singing about that experience in the big world of culture. I thought that's what we could contribute. So I had this idea. I wanted to write about what it's like to be where you're from and feeling lonesome for that. Freeways to roam. But I was home, so I couldn't really write about it. I knew it in my head, but I didn't feel it because I was here. Sing souls to be alone for wandering. My heart is cold. Then we went out on a tour on the first Breach of Trust tour, and we were in North Bay. We were setting up to rehearse, and I realized the song I'd been thinking about. I was I can feel it. I think I know what I want to do. So I sat down with the only acoustic that I had access to, which was this beat up old had 4 strings on it, and it was all warped, the neck was, it sounded bad, I could barely keep it in tune. But I started playing these chords, and I had this feeling about how the song should sound. And the whole song came out like that. So by the time the band was set up to rehearse, I had this new song, and I was like, let's check the song, let's try it out. So we tried it out, it went really well, and we played it the next night as the opening song in Ottawa. And we opened a lot of shows with that song because it felt right, that it felt like it was it's about acknowledging where you come from and acknowledging your debt to the land and feeling though you might be lonely at different times, you'll never be alone because you're connected to that, and that's part of who you are. No, the miles are many, waiting, my heart is heavy, no, my spirit's lonely. Awareness come. the hand outstretched in offering.